All right, guys, week 7. I'm going to get through all the games, go through starting with Thursday night. Uh, Recap of last week. It's our first losing week of the season. And so we lost the Thursday night game. We lost the first half, and then we lost the second half. Should have won both of them. But whatever. That's fine. And then we added a couple late plays Sunday or Saturday night. And each of those late plays, other than the Bills, lost. So, kind of learned my lesson right there. The two big plays that we had, the Colts and Denver, easy wins. Well, not easy wins, but they covered by a lot. So, two big plays hit easily. Could have just kept with what we had from Thursday. We would have been fine. Dallas getting within the number and then blowing it kind of sucked too. But yeah, I mean, first losing week. We'll get back on it this week. So let's start with Thursday night football. Arizona Cardinals against the Saints. Arizona's at home. Current price looks like a 2.5. Yeah, best price is -2.5, -110. Most other books are at 115. So it looks like it possibly could go to 3. As of right now, I don't have anything yet. Hopkins is supposed to be back for this game. Saints have a ton of injuries. Issues. Cardinals stink. They should be able to put up points today. I don't know. I might go with the Cardinals late. That's my lean, but I'm going to wait and see what happens. Probably play it a little closer to game time. But I do think they should be able to score some points against the Saints. The Saints have not looked good. I don't know what their problem is either, but their defense has been trash this season. So it is what it is. No official play on that game, but I would lean to the Cardinals, possibly playing it later. Check the Discord and see if I added it, or you can check my bet stamp, see if I added it. The bet stamp will alert you at all times as soon as a play goes in. So if you follow the bet stamp, as soon as I put a play in, it'll alert you. Okay, Sunday's card. The first game on the board is Colts at Titans. Looks like the Titans are laying 2.5 at some places, and a very juiced 3 at Circa. So, I made the line 2. If we get a 3, I have to play the Colts. So the best 3 that's available is a -129. We're not gonna do that. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, if this line gets to 3, I'm definitely taking the Colts. If it doesn't, I'm gonna tease them up. This is a perfect teaser opportunity where you can get it past 3 and then past 7. You get it at 8.5. So I do like that, but I will wait to see if we get a 3. I think the Colts have finally kind of got a little rhythm going. I bet them last week as a big play. The week before we had them, a week before we had them on Thursday Night Football, they won that game too. So little 2-game win streak I think they're on. So I do lean to the Colts at the 2.5. I will take it if it gets to 3. Definitely putting it in a teaser if it doesn't though. So the total. So I'm starting to do totals now. I did it last week and they did really well. I didn't post them just because the confidence level is not very high. But they did very well. So I'm doing it again this week. There is one total play that we played. I'll get into that later. But just for record purposes, I have the total at 41. It's at 42.5 on here. So I would lean to the under. I'm not going to take it just because I don't feel very confident with just a 1.5 point edge on there. But I do think 42.5 or 43 is just a little too high. All right, so let's go move on to the Giants at Jacksonville. Okay, so we had the Giants last week. We had them money line against the Ravens. We hit both. Hit 5.5 or the 6. If you got a 6, I did say if you don't get a 6, 5.5 is fine too. Hit the 5.5, and we hit the money line. So I do think the Giants are overrated. When they played the Cowboys, we took the Cowboys. It was a pick-em, I believe, or a -1 or something like that. The Giants looked very bad against the Cowboys. The Cowboys defense played very well against them, made their life tough on offense. Took the Giants against the Packers because I believe the Packers are a pretty overrated team, and then it was a neutral site. They were laying like 8 points. I thought that was crazy. So I still think they're an overrated team. I still think Jacksonville is overrated as well. I don't understand why Jacksonville is laying 3. We were able to get the Giants +3 at even money yesterday or the day before. Forget when I put it in exactly. Let's see. Yeah. So it is even money at a +3. It is now pretty much a -110. You can get some low vig stuff, but pretty much -110 across the board. I feel like this game should move to a 2.5. I made the line personally at 1.5. I think they're very even teams. I think home field advantage is only worth about 1.5 points this year. So I would have had Jacksonville -1.5, thinking that they're fairly even teams at home, getting a 1.5. So the fact that we're getting a 3, I still think is crazy. I know everyone knows the Giants are overrated. I think we're seeing the lines still assuming that they are. I don't understand Jacksonville laying 3 though. I mean, maybe they kick the shit out of the Giants. I mean, it's possible, but I do think that's a little too high. We're playing the Giants +3. Probably take some money line. The total, I have it 42.5. It looks like 42.5. There is a 41.5. Nothing worth playing though, so nothing on the total. We were pretty spot on that one. Moving on, Tampa Bay and Carolina. It looks like we just got some more Tampa Bay money. Yep. It just got pushed to -11 now. I mean, Carolina's a mess. We faded them last week. We took the Rams. I mean, there's not much to say about Carolina right now. The real issue is the Bucks. They have looked horrible. They lost to Pittsburgh. I don't understand what the coaches are doing. Like, why do you keep running the ball right into a stacked box? They're running the ball on early downs. They won't throw the ball on early downs. They keep getting into like 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8, and forcing themselves to punt. You're playing Pittsburgh, who was already missing 4 defensive starters. Another one goes down during the game. So 5 starters on the defense were out, and you're still running the ball. You have Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Godwin. Like, what are you doing? I don't understand. mean, they probably kicked the shit out of the Panthers, but I can't bet them right now. I've lost on them, I believe, 2 weeks in a row now. Actually, I don't think we bet them last week, but still. Oh no, we had a parlay with them. That's right, moneyline parlay, and they lost. The only team that lost on the parlay. So, I mean, I do think they pretty much kicked the shit out of the Panthers. I just don't know if they will cover 11. I mean, if you give up 10 points, I don't think they can cover 11. It's hard to see this Tampa Bay team, the way that they're being coached and the way that they're playing right now, scoring more than 20 points. It's awful. I don't know what else to say about them. The total, I made it 40.5. It's 40.5. There is a 40. There is also a 39.5 out there, but nothing worth getting into. Like I said, I don't know if the Bucs are going to be able to score enough points to cover this game, and I don't know if they're going to score enough to get to the total. So, unless I'm getting a good number, I'm not touching the Bucs right now. You might be able to put them in some kind of weird teaser or something, but not for me. Okay, next game, Green Bay in Washington. Green Bay is a 4.5 point favorite. 5 at some places. Sorry, I made the game 4.5. Green Bay, obviously the offense is an issue. They don't have any receivers. They don't have a tight end. I mean, Tanyan's cool, but really it's Aaron Rodgers that makes him look good. So they don't have any skill position guys that are going to make enough plays for the Packers to score enough to cover these big spreads. Washington, terrible team. They should not have won on Thursday night. I do think they should be able to move the ball against Green Bay. I think they'll be able to score some points. I think Green Bay should be able to score some points against this defense. Both defenses are not good. Washington's defense is really bad. So I do think this is a game where you're going to see some better offense. The total is sitting at 41, some places 41.5 at others. I made this total 45.5, so we're getting 4 points. There's a 4-point edge. I took the over at 41. That's still available at some places. 41.5, obviously 41's kind of a key number on the total, so if you can get a 41, take it. If you can't, 41.5 is fine. That's one of our plays this week. I think both offenses should be able to move the ball. I think that's a very low total. A 23-20 game, that already covers it. So I do think we'll see some points in that game, even though both offenses are trash and both defenses are trash. So hopefully Washington can score a little early and then kind of get Green Bay into the passing mode and just score more points. So moving on, Detroit in Dallas. Dallas should be pretty healthy. Detroit is coming off of a bye. It's a 7-point spread. I made the spread 6.5. Yeah, 6.5. So there's not too much value. I lean to Detroit because of that 7. If we get a 7.5, I'm playing it for sure. I just don't know. I mean, obviously there's questions. So Dak's going to be in the game. He's going to come back, play his game. First game since the first week. Their offense should be a little better, obviously. The defense has still played well. injuries, I believe, are pretty good for Dallas. I don't think they have. Let me check again. I was just looking at it. Yeah, like CeeDee Lamb's questionable, but he should play. Yeah, like they don't have any injuries with Dak coming back that are concerning. They should be able to score however many points they want against Detroit. Detroit should be able to figure out how to move the ball. The problem is Dallas's D-line is very good. Detroit's O-line should be somewhat more healthy this week after the bye. I know they had a bunch of injuries their last game. Questionable. Yeah, it looks like their O-line is going to be pretty healthy this game. So I do think Detroit's O-line is decent. I'm not going to say they stop Dallas's D-line from causing problems, but Detroit should have some drives where they can move the ball and score some points. So I'm going to wait, but I do lean to Detroit. I do think the 7 is a little high. I'm hoping it moves to a 7.5 and we can get the hook. I think Dallas wins the game. If you want to put them in a money line parlay or something like that, that's fine. I just think the 7 is too high for now, so we'll see. And then the total, we had 46.5. It's at 48.5, 49 something. Yeah, mostly at 49. Kind of like that under. I'm not gonna play it. We're just gonna watch it one more week. I only played the huge edge that we had on Green Bay, but I'm gonna write this down so I can come back and look at how we did. So decent size edge there on the under, but we're gonna stay away. Probably gonna play Detroit though, so just remember that. Okay, Atlanta in Cincinnati. Cincinnati is laying 6.5. It has went down to it's only one spot at 6, so pretty much a 6.5 across the board. Why? I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. I made the line 4. Like 4.5 if you right between 4 and 4.5. So Atlanta, I believe they're still undefeated on the spread. I'm not positive. I'm pretty sure though. They caught the Niners at a good time. Niners had a bunch of injuries. The line went down to where I thought we had some decent value, so I took it. Failed miserably. Atlanta pretty much controlled the whole game. They did get a couple fluky plays, a fumble and whatnot, but they still played well. And the Niners couldn't quite move the ball for some reason. I mean, the receivers had a terrible day for the Niners. They dropped. One was a drop touchdown, multiple drops throughout the game. There was another play where we did score a long touchdown, and they called it back for holding. It was just a gross game. It was bad. The other thing, Niners had Chiefs on deck, so it was kind of one of those sandwich games. They had Atlanta in the middle. Probably didn't come out full speed, full effort, whatever. It is what it is. This game, Cincinnati, they won last weekend. They covered. They probably shouldn't have. They looks like they were going to drive down the field, kick a field goal for the win, but there was no. You didn't think they were going to cover. They get a crazy play down the sideline to Chase, and the guy can't tackle him. He runs in the end zone. They cover the game. Very lucky for Cincinnati backers. I guess it makes the score look better and, I don't know, increases this line. I don't understand the line. Bengals defense is not that good. Atlanta's going to be able to score points. Atlanta's defense is trash. And Cincinnati will be able to score points. So I do think, I'm not saying Cincinnati's not going to score. They're not going to put up points or anything like that. They're going to score. I think Atlanta's going to score enough to stay within the margin. I can't get to a 6.5. That's crazy to me. We're going to take Atlanta plus 6.5. You can dabble a little bit on the money line. I don't love it just because I think Cincinnati can pretty much, even if it's a close game at the end, they're going to pretty much be able to drive down the field and score on this defense. Yeah, take Atlanta plus 6.5. The total, I made it 51, but that's because of both defenses. There's quite a bit of room here. 47, I kind of like it. Might come back and play this over as well. There's some 47s, 47.5, but yeah, I think this should go over. Last week's game against the Niners, it stayed under, and it's only because the Niners were incompetent and couldn't score for most of the second half, so that game should have definitely went over. I expect this one to kind of fly over that total. I don't know, 28, 23, 28, 24, something like that. Should be getting 52 points. But yeah, that's where I stand with that. Falcons is a play at plus 6.5. All right, Cleveland and Ravens. Ravens have been that team that I've been fading because I think they're very overrated. And this week we're doing the same thing. They're laying 6.5 against the Browns. I made it 4.5. I'm not really a Cleveland fan this year. I think they aren't very good. I think Brissett is pretty bad. I think their coaching sucks. But I do think this is too many points. The Ravens' defense has not been great. You can pretty much... I mean, even the Giants last week, they weren't moving the ball too well. They kind of figured it out later in the game. But I think Cleveland should be able to move the ball against this defense. Let's see. I was trying to look up their numbers. Cleveland is the best, running team in the league. Baltimore, their rushing defense isn't bad, but I don't see how they stop the Cleveland's running game. And then you could, hopefully they learn to use some play action, rollouts and stuff with Brissett, but we'll see if that happens. Also, Baltimore's offense does not worry me whatsoever. They have no great receivers. They have Mark Andrews, and that's basically it. They get a couple crazy plays of Dunnervay, or however you say his name. And then obviously it's the Lamar Jackson show. So last week, Lamar, you kind of seen him come back to reality a little bit, seen a little bit accuracy issues. He fumbled once. I think if Cleveland's D-line is in this, they have a couple injuries, but if they're all healthy and they're all playing, I think they're going to cause some problems here in this game. So I do like Cleveland plus 6.5. This one I actually do like some money line. So it looks like you can get a plus 235, somewhere in the range of plus 230, plus 235. For the total, it made it 48. It's sitting about 46, so I'm not going to touch that. Cleveland has been kind of an over team this year, so I mean, I definitely lean to the over, but I probably won't play it. I will circle it here and just kind of watch it, see if we had the right edge and whatnot. We'll come back and discuss that later. But we are playing Cleveland plus 6.5. We could probably dabble with some money line. So, Jets and Broncos. This is one of our big bets. We put this game in 2 days ago when it was a pick'em. We grabbed Denver for our biggest play so far this year, 4 units. First play we've done, that's just a 4-unit play. So, Denver pick'em at home. Jets, we played the Jets last week. We had the Jets last week. I believe the week before too. Anyways, they've looked decent the last couple weeks. I think their offense is going to come back to reality this week. I don't think you're going to see them score many points at all against Denver. I do think Hackett is probably the worst coach in the league. I don't understand how they didn't win that Monday night game. Even if you throw out everything that happened in the second half, let's talk about overtime. They had the ball twice. They ran on first down, ran on second down, threw it on third down. What are you guys doing? I don't understand. The whole first half they were moving the ball down the field through the air, and then they just completely got away from it. I don't understand what they were doing. If you want to talk about rigged games, that's one where you look at it like, yep, that was bad. But Hackett is a moron, so it's probably just the fact that he's that dumb. I don't know what they were doing. Russell Wilson was actually looking pretty good that game, and then they just stopped letting him throw the ball. So I don't know. I do think they're going to be able to move the ball against the Jets. I do think they're going to score some points. I don't think the Jets are going to be able to score points in this game. You could probably even play a Jets team total under. It's probably like right at... I wish I could see it on here. I don't know if they have it. Yeah, they don't have it on there, but I would assume it's around 17 or 18 points. I don't think they even get close to that. I'm thinking like 10 or 13 points in this game. And I think Denver actually moves the ball and scores points. So, Denver, pick 'em at home. I made the line 3.5, and you're still getting 1.5. I mean, take it till it's 3. I love this game. I made the total 39. It's at 38. No play there. But Denver at home in this spot is a good spot. That was our big bet last week. They covered easily. They should have won the game, but they win this game. Moving on, we have Texans and Raiders. It looks like the Raiders are laying 7 pretty much across the board. There's a 6.5, but it's pretty highly juiced. So I made the line at 6. Yeah, right under 6, 5.5 to 6. So I do have a lean on the Texans. I probably should play them. I just hate playing the Texans. The Raiders should win the game. I just don't see the Raiders ever covering 7-point spreads. Houston should be able to score, should be able to move the ball, but the Raiders could pretty much get touchdowns at any time they want. So I'm kind of talking myself into betting this Houston game right now. Plus 7, I'm taking Houston. Anything under that, I'm not touching it. I do think the Raiders win the game. They lost to Kansas City on Monday Night Football. They should have won that game. A couple bad decisions from the coaching staff, and then just the fact that you couldn't stop Mahomes after that second, after halftime. I would play Houston here, +7. I do think the Raiders win, so I wouldn't touch any money line or anything like that. I made the total at 49. It's sitting at 46. It's dropping 45.5. I'm not going to touch it. I have questions with Houston scoring. But I'll circle it, come back later. I would lean to the over. But Houston +7 is probably a play for us. I will say the game ends 27-23. Raiders win. All right, Seattle against the Chargers. Chargers at home, and it's dropped to 5. I'm pretty sure I already put a play in on here. Let's see. Yes, we already played the Chargers at -6. I did not think it would come down this far. We're going to put this in again because I wanted to get under 6 anyways, and now it finally happened, so let's play this now. There is a -5.5, -105. We are doubling up on this track. All right. Chargers, I'm thinking, let's see. Keenan Allen. So from what I saw earlier, it seemed like he was going to play. This site is tripping. Let's see. Dang, it looks like he might not play again this week. Yeah, that's I don't know. He's had such a weird injury this year. You think he plays and he doesn't. That's probably why this line dropped. Even if he doesn't play, I like the Chargers here in this spot. I think Seattle is very overrated, and I don't understand how they're winning games. I think the Chargers should be able to move the ball pretty much at will. I do think they'll make enough stops to cover the spread. I don't think Seattle's offense is that good. They beat Arizona last week, and Arizona looked like shit. Arizona should have came back easily in that game. I watched a lot of that game. They blocked a punt, scored. They were only down 1 score, and then they just fell apart. I think the Chargers cover the spread. I took them -5.5 and -6, so lost a little CLV there, whatever. That's fine. We're taking the Chargers. The total, this one I made 47 because I don't think Seattle's going to score the way that everyone thinks. It looks like it's sitting at 50.5 at some places. I would lean to the under. I'm not going to take it. I don't have enough of an edge or confidence, but I think it goes under. All right, moving on. KC against the Niners. Niners at home. It looks like a 2.5. You can get a 3, but it's very highly juiced. Um, I think this game should be more like a pick 'em, but the injuries for the Niners are a little concerning. They have a lot of them. They all pretty much happened in 1 week, which was even more annoying. I think Bosa plays. Oh my God, why does this keep refreshing? It's so annoying. I think Bosa plays. Where is it? Okay. I think Armstead is going to play. Funga is probably playing. He has to do the concussion clearance stuff. Yeah, I think the D-line is going to be much healthier this week. It sucks that we, obviously lost Jimmy Ward. Mosley's out for the season. We are getting back Tre'Davious Ward, though, so that's going to help. And then we're getting back the D-line. So I do think this is much better than it looked last week. They had so many injuries last week, it did not look good. So I do think getting the Niners plus 2.5, and you could get them on the money line plus 130. Looks like the best. 125 is, excuse me. 125 is pretty much the common number around. I like that. I think it should be a pick 'em. You're getting plus 125 instead. So I haven't locked it in yet because I'm waiting to see if we can get a 3. I doubt that happens. But I don't really see any. I don't think we're going to see an influx of Niners money to get a bad line. So just kind of wait and see. Moving on. Oh, the total. We had 47.5. It is sitting at 48.5. So I'm not going to touch that. Sunday Night Football, Miami and Pittsburgh. Miami is laying 7. Pretty much a 7 across the board. This one's tough because of the injuries. It looks like Tua's playing. I made it 6.5. So let me check Pittsburgh real quick. I think they are starting Trubisky because of the concussion for Pickett. No, it looks like he's okay. It is likely that he will be cleared in time for Sunday. Okay. So Pickett is probably starting this game. Still some injuries for Pittsburgh. Miami is a little bit healthier. This game sucks. I think Pittsburgh is one of the worst teams in the league, like bottom 3. They're kind of fighting for that top spot. They did beat the Bucks last week. Some fucking how, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna even be able to score enough points to come within 7. I'm probably just not gonna touch this game. If anything, moneyline parlay or something with Miami. If it's a 7.5, you could tease it down. It looks like it's gonna go to 7.5. There's actually some pretty highly juiced 7s, so teasing it down might be a good option. Let me go back. So if you can tease them with the Colts, Miami and the Colts teaser is pretty nice. I like that. Yep, that's about it. Or the Niners. Niners are a good tease. I think their defense is going to keep them in that game. And I don't think Chiefs defense is that good to where you're going to see the Niners score 14 points like they did last week. So a few good teaser options. Colts. You could even do the Saints tonight. I don't love the Saints, but I don't think you're going to see Arizona scoring enough to cover an 8.5 spread. So I just talked myself into that. I'm gonna put the Saints in a teaser, probably with the Colts, and then I'm gonna tease the Niners with the Dolphins most likely. All right, and then Monday Night Football, you have New England against Chicago. Mac Jones is back. I don't know. 7.5 is so much for the Patriots offense. I mean, I know they've looked pretty good last couple weeks. They've caught the Browns when the Browns had a lot of injuries. I get it. They still whooped their ass, but the Bears are awful. Had them last week. I don't understand how they didn't win that game. 3 trips inside the 5, 0 points. A muffed fumble gives 7 directly to Washington, and they lose. I don't know. That was a crazy game. It was ridiculous that I lost money on that game. But probably have to play Chicago here at 7.5. I haven't taken it yet. I'm probably going to wait just because it's so gross. I don't really want to lay money with them. But if anything, I would take the Bears plus 7.5 here. Gross. All right, let's go back. So the plays that we have in already: Giants plus 3, Green Bay over 41, Atlanta plus 6.5, Cleveland plus 6.5, Denver pick'em. It's now minus 1.5. You can take that. I'm still fine with that. Chargers minus 6 and minus 5.5 because we doubled up on it because we got a better line. If we lose both, it is what it is. And then I just gave you a couple teasers. If you need a survivor play, New England is probably the best survivor play, to be honest. There's not going to be many spots to use them like there is this week. Also, the Dolphins, if you haven't used them yet, are a pretty good looking survivor play. If you still have the Bucks, I mean it's a great spot. If you used the Bucks last week, I'm sorry, but it's a good spot to use them this week. But you're gonna have everyone on them this week because it's the highest spread. The ownership is probably gonna be like 80% or something. So if you're trying to avoid that, I would go with New England or Miami. Pittsburgh coming off of that huge win against the Bucks. That was probably their Super Bowl. So Miami probably a decent survivor play this week. All right, that's it. Like I said, you can follow my bet stamp. You just download the app, and my @ is @WhiteLightBets. Same thing on YouTube, same thing on Rumble, same thing on Twitter. Join my Discord. Discord has all my plays. We talk about baseball, football, whatever, NBA. We have group chats in there. We have, the crystal businesses in there. We talk about crypto in there. Join the Discord. I'll put the link in the bio this time. I keep forgetting. My bad. I will do it this time. But, all right. Good luck to everyone. Unless you're against me, then good luck to me. Later.